Welcome to
disclaimer.
today.
So let's just dive right into this, shall we? Today, we are unpacking a really stark, incredibly detailed source document titled Habits That Keep You Addicted to Porn. And it refers to this addiction as, quote, the silent destroyer. Now, this document is actually fascinating because, well, it doesn't rely on overt shaming. Instead, it systematically breaks down the actual, literal mechanics of how a seemingly private behavior just dismantles a person's life. We're going to map out exactly how this progression happens. We're actually skipping the usual agenda today because I want to drop you right into the core psychology of this piece. The fundamental question this source forces us to ask is this: when exactly does a daily habit cross that blurry line and become a silent destroyer? You know, where is that boundary between casual entertainment and a destructive dependency that just starts making your life choices for you? To answer that, our source material doesn't just give us some vague overview. It explicitly outlines 60 distinct signs, habits, and psychological shifts that mark the progression of this addiction. 60 points. That sheer scale really shows us how stealthy and pervasive this issue can be as it steadily takes over a person's daily routine, bit by bit. We've synthesized these 60 points into 5 distinct phases.
All right, phase 1, habit versus dependency. This is where we see that initial shift from casual to compulsive.
The absolutely crucial point here is how the source distinguishes a mere habit from a full-blown dependency. It's all about what gets replaced. The user starts watching instead of socializing with friends, watching instead of hitting work deadlines, watching instead of exercising, and watching at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. instead of sleeping. The dependency literally starts stealing the fundamental building blocks of a person's day right out from under them. And that brings us to point number 2 from the text, which delivers this incredibly hard-hitting quote: "You're not watching, you're medicating." This starkly reveals the psychological shift. When someone is watching multiple times a day, morning, lunch, and night, it's no longer about entertainment. It's a coping mechanism. It's a dependency being used to just completely numb out reality. Moving into phase 2, the web of secrecy. This is where the behavior gets driven underground by shame. As the dependency grows, so does the shame. The source details how this forces the individual into a really stressful double life. They are constantly hiding the habit. We see things like the private or incognito browser just always being on. They go as far as hiding apps in folders or using those fake calculator apps just to conceal the behavior. They always wear headphones to prevent anyone from hearing, and they start meticulously planning their day around exactly when the house will be empty. They're constantly lying, saying they're just, checking email when confronted. But all this secrecy takes a massive psychological toll, resulting in what the document outlines as the cycle of relapse. It goes like this. Step 1, the user deletes everything and swears to God, themselves, or their partner that they are done. Step 2, they experience this overwhelming, intense post-watch shame and self-disgust. But then, step 3, the dependency kicks in, they re-download everything, and the whole cycle starts again the very next day. It's a vicious psychological trap of broken promises. Okay, phase 3, escalation and tolerance. The brain's demand for more. Now, what's really fascinating here is how the text defines a critical physiological change: escalation. The source identifies this as a classic sign of addiction. It basically means needing increasingly extreme levels of stimulation. What excited the person last year simply doesn't work anymore. The brain's dopamine tolerance has shifted, pushing the individual toward genres that actually repulse them, or even crossing lines into violent or illegal content just to feel something. To really grasp the frantic nature of this escalation, the document highlights the extreme behavior of having up to 50 browser tabs open at once. I mean, think about that for a second. 50 tabs. The user is desperately searching, scrolling way more than they are actually watching, relentlessly chasing a dopamine hit that never quite arrives. Literally nothing satisfies the craving anymore. And because of this frantic searching, time just begins to disappear. What used to be a quick 10-minute session now drags out to 60 minutes as they fast forward trying to find the right part. And eventually, it turns into 4 lost hours in the middle of the night. The addiction progressively consumes larger and larger chunks of their life, which leads right into phase 4, the death of intimacy. This is when screen reality destroys physical reality. The source perfectly contrasts the effortless nature of pixels with the complex reality of human relationships. Porn is easy, right? It provides instant, artificial dopamine with flawless, edited pixels. Real intimacy, on the other hand, well, that suddenly feels like work to the user. Real bodies don't look like screens. The document bluntly states that because of this artificial conditioning, you broke your brain, making the user actually prefer the screen over a real partner. Specific compulsive actions lead directly to devastating consequences in the bedroom. For example, if a user is watching right after real sex, the intimacy is fundamentally broken. If they need to pause real intimacy to pull up a screen to finish, their partner is forced to literally watch them watch. And by constantly comparing real partners to heavily edited videos, it creates this impossible competition that just breeds deep, deep resentment. It gets to the point where the user completely loses touch with reality. The text notes, you see body parts, not people. This is the ultimate objectification. And it bleeds into everyday life, strangers, coworkers, friends. The user is constantly checking out, unable to hold a normal conversation without scanning the room or fantasizing, all because their mind is entirely hijacked by the screen. And finally, phase 5, the ultimate fallout, the complete psychological and social collapse. The mental health destruction detailed at the end of the document is severe. The user lives with constant brain fog. They just can't focus or remember things. Their dopamine receptors are so fried that they have zero energy or motivation. This leads to severe social anxiety, feeling like everyone can see their dirty secret. Ultimately, it results in extreme isolation. And here is the tragic irony of it all. The user turns to porn to treat the very depression and anxiety that the porn is causing in the first place. Because of this extreme isolation, they push everyone away. The text gives us this chilling insight. Porn doesn't judge you, porn doesn't ask questions. For someone deep in this dependency, the screen becomes a safe, silent substitute for genuine human connection. It's exactly why the document notes they often end up having no real friends and no real romantic relationships. But the damage isn't just internal, is it? The dependency sends a destructive ripple effect through literally everyone around the user. The partner suffers broken trust, dead intimacy, and the sheer fatigue of the same lies over and over again. The kids are put at risk. Maybe they almost saw an open tab, or worse, they're silently being taught that this disconnected behavior is totally normal. And the extended family suffers as the user misses birthdays, anniversaries, and even emergencies just so they can stay home and watch. Which brings us to the final point of the source text, point number 60. It delivers this ultimate, visceral summary of everything we've just covered. Porn is free, the cost is your life. It's such a sobering reminder that while the barrier to entry is literally nothing, the hidden tax is your time, your relationships, your mental health, and your reality. So I want to leave you with a final thought directly inspired by the urgent wake-up call at the very end of this document. From a casual habit, it becomes a silent destroyer that isolates you from absolutely everyone you love. The text ends by forcing a decision. Are you still hiding, or are you ready to get help? It's a really powerful question to reflect on, whether for yourself or someone you know. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next one.